Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Elfenroads. Elfenroads is a game published by Rio Grande, and in this case, I think this one's from Amigo as well. Plays 2 to 6 players, 60 minutes, designed by prolific designer Alan R. Moon. You may recognize that name from a little game called Ticket to Ride, or Airlines Europe, among a plethora of others, Ink and Gold, all that kind of stuff. And in this game, what you are doing is you are taking on the role of, I think, an elf, this awesome boot. We'll talk about that later. And you are trying to move around the map, collecting cubes, visiting cities. Basically, you're exploring and collecting cubes to know that you've explored that city. But the way you're doing that is by riding different types of mythical creatures. Giant pigs, a troll cart, an elfcycle, a magic cloud, a dragon, a unicorn. And you can, on certain types of transportation, can only go over certain types of terrain on the map. So you're trying to plan your route using these tokens, and then play cards that match these tokens to move over certain paths on the map. You can use other people's routes if they happen to help you, but you're just trying to make it the best network you can using the tokens and cards that you have. By the end of 4 or 6 rounds, depending on what you're playing, you can have the most cubes. That's it. So if you want to see how that works, sorta, it's not a great overview, but if you want to see how that works, you can click the link in the video description. Otherwise, stick around here and we will take a look at the components. All right, so components. I'm not going to take a look at the shaky cam because there's not a ton of components in this huge box. It's mostly these cool boots in 6 different player colors. Those are fantastic. Big chunky boots. I've never seen a player bit that's boots, which is pretty cool. All these cards with really nice art. I like the art. I know art is subjective, but I really like the art here. I love the magic cloud. I always call him Cloud Guy from the Trolls movie because, you know, I'm lame. I mean, it's a whale with a pilot, a captain's hat. That's freaking adorable. Yeah, the cards are really nice. Here's the cool raft. They're linen finished. They're really nice quality. They shuffle nice. All that type of stuff. Cubes. You've seen a cube. There you go. The first player marker is actually this standee here, which is pretty neat. Not necessary, but kind of cool. And I lost a piece of it, which is not good, but that's okay. I'm not going to show you the board, but there's the board. There's bonus tokens. If you want to see the board, you can watch the playthrough. It's a pretty nice art board. It's big. Bonus tokens, again, which are going to match the cards. There are going to be different ways that you can travel. Of course, I picked the same ones. So here's the dragon. They function just like the tokens and the cards, but they can give you points at the end of the game. And in the box, there's also gold coins that you can use for one of the expansions. Some additional cards. Bag of cubes. The box is pretty big. It might be bigger than what it needs to be. Like, it has a pretty decent insert, but that's a pretty big box. It doesn't need to be this big. I could probably get rid of the insert and it could be this big if it wasn't for the board. The board takes up this whole, when it's folded, it takes up that space, which is not great, but whatever. I don't care about boxes. You can put a box together however you want. But overall, the components are nice. All the rule books for roads are land, sea, and gold are all in here. Elfenland's in the front, Elfensea's in the back, Elfengold's in the middle. So one rule book that tells you how to play all of it. They're all pretty similar. Gold is the biggest difference, and I'm not going to really talk about that, but it's going to add some stuff, and we'll get back to that later. But the rulebook lays it all out nicely. What happens at the end of the game on Elfensea. Very easy to understand, teach, and play. So there we go. So those are the components. Again, if you want to see the board, you can click the link in the playthrough, and you can see the Elfensea side. The Elfenroad side is similar, just less water, because hence the name Elfensea. But those are the components. Let's keep going and talk about what we think about the game. All right, so this is a game basically of network building. You are trying to build a network of travel tokens that you can play as many cards as you can to travel as efficiently as you can to different cities to collect cubes. That's it. That's what you're trying to do. Now, the tokens that you get won't always work together. So there may be some times where you have to change your path based on what other people play, which I didn't show in the overview. I just wanted to show you what happens when you play and how you move. But other people are going to play tokens down as well, which may sway how you're going to move around the board because they're playing tokens that actually go with your cards when you didn't get tokens that go with your cards. So you're trying to make this path, move across the water, move as efficiently as you can to use as few of cards as you can. If you can do the perfect route, you can move 8 times in theory. In theory. If everything works out correctly, you can move around this board 8 times and collect 8 cubes in one round, and that is huge. So if you could do that 4 times, you would collect every single cube that you have. Probably not going to happen, but it's possible, and I like that. And I like the Elfensea side because it gives you these little bonus tokens, which just add a little bit of flavor. There's more cities to go to. There's more options. I like this side of the board. Elfenland, I think, is the other side. It's fine. I mean, it's the same. It adds obstacles, so you can make it harder for people to cross using the a terrain type. So if they had a pig only takes 1 card most of the time. You put an obstacle down, now they got to pay an extra card because it's harder to get through that terrain because there's a fallen tree. So you can kind of mess some people over there. There's more travel types. It's a little bit trickier of a puzzle because of that, but it's still fun. But I probably will play Elfensea every time because I like all the cities. That's just how it is. This is a fun game. It's family weight for sure. If you play Ticket to Ride, you could play this and wouldn't have any issue with it. It's a little deeper than Ticket to Ride, I think, because of planning the route with the tokens and then playing cards. But I don't think it's any more difficult. So Alan Moon does what Alan Moon does. If you have ever played another Alan Moon game, you're going to know if you're going to like this or not. That's kind of my opinion. I really like this. It's probably not one I'm going to play all the time just because I don't always want to build a network and travel a network. But when I do, I'll bust this out. I probably like Ticket to Ride better because it's quicker, more streamlined, and the games are just lightning fast. But this is a little bit deeper, and I enjoy it. I like the generic fantasy theme. I like the awesome boots. The boots are fantastic, and I don't know, it's just fun. So I like that. So I'm gonna give this a BGM accepted seal. It's gonna get a 7.5 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 3.75 out of 5 wrenches. On our arbitrary wrench scale, that means absolutely nothing, but we like to give the games that we enjoy, and that's what I'm gonna do. So that is Elfenroads from Rio Grande Games. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.